Hello and welcome to this episode of the CHA Extracurricular Podcast. We're recording on Friday, March 3rd. I'm your host, Chris Keller, and I have a couple special guests here in the studio today. We've got Matthew Craighead and Brock Zorn joining us today to talk a little bit about, just life, school, CHA, etc., on and on. Let's see here, folks. We're still kind of in the in-between season, so as far as sports updates goes, practices are underway. I am still excited for some baseball stuff and softball too this year, so good things happening. And of course, track. They're all getting their workouts in, and the seasons will start very soon. But for now, let's talk to some CHA alums, huh? Why not? First, folks, I have to say, I'm holding up this book. I know you can't see it, but Brock brought me a book, and it is titled Unplug Every Day. Brock, will you tell the folks a little bit about Unplugged?
Sure, Mr. Keller. So for our senior year, we had Mr. Keller for a couple classes throughout the day, and something that carried over from the COVID times that year, we had a system we like to call Unplugged, where we would take some time just to get out and get off of our computers and, just go enjoy life, get away from the screens. And so even though we had kind of gone past that and gone back to regular class in our senior year, Mr. Keller was one of those teachers that still found some time for us to be able to get off the screens and really unplug from it all and get away from, the worries of school, which we really appreciated as seniors. I think Matthew can back me up on that one.
Yeah, facts. Unplugged was like the best time, just like...
Now help me catch up. I'm trying to remember. It's been not long enough, but it's been a little while. So, was Unplugged supposed to be once a week? How did that work for government?
Yeah, I think it was like maybe 2 days in a week for government. And then it's supposed to be in our other classes.
But then somehow we'd end up having Unplugged in government 3-4 times a week. At least it felt that way to me. I don't know. So Unplugged became like the joke of the year. I would be getting ready to start a lecture, and Evan Lawrence would be like, "So, Unplugged?" Or someone else would take their turn each day without fail. So we always had to, make sure we, of course, learned our government, and then straight outside. I think we even had Christmas decoration. What was it? On our door?
Yeah, the door decorating. We had
have an unplugged Christmas.
That's right.
Wasn't that what it was?
And for some reason, we did not win.
I'll never understand that. Never. All right. Well, while you guys are here, why don't you share a little bit about how college is going? What's your all's experience been like so far? We're here in the spring semester, so you got kind of like that early first freshman semester out of the way. And, it's been a while since I was there, but if I recall, first semester of freshman year is kind of like not quite college yet. And then you hit spring and you're like, okay, this is what college is supposed to be. So how's it going for you guys? What's it like this semester?
Well, for me, anyway, I find this semester is a little bit more difficult just because, kind of like you mentioned, I think that first semester, that fall semester for freshmen is very much a welcome to college experience, very much a guided experience is what I would have to say. You have so many events that are going on, so many things that you have advisors and mentors who are guiding you through the whole college process and what you need to be doing. And then you get to spring semester, and that first week of the syllabus week, or whatever any professor prefers to call it, is kind of the start. You're kind of on your own at this point, except for the people that you've met along the way that you kind of have with you. Those are the people that you really have left. Of course, the professors are there to help you, and you can still reach out to people as you see fit, but it's kind of that first time you have the experience of, okay, this is what I have to do for myself. This is my turn to be my own adult and be my own student.
And it's kind of that first chance to do it again, right? Because freshman year, you don't really know how to approach a class or whatever. And then you get there in the spring semester and you're like, okay, I've done this before, and let's try something a little different this time, or carry over the things that did work, that sort of thing. What about you, Matthew? What's it been like?
First semester wasn't as easy as high school, but it was a little more harder, but it wasn't I don't think you quite hit college life yet. but certainly like this semester has been more difficult. But the good thing is you got people there that are going to help you get through it when it does get difficult. So, I mean, you just got to know how to use your resources and things like that, and just go ask for help when you need it and not be scared to ask for help when you need it. So.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I think that's one thing that's definitely true is like people in college will help you, but you have to like go find them. Yeah. They're not just going to come looking for you and be like, hey, you need help, right? Can I help you out? Like, it's a little different in that way, right?
Yeah, when a professor posts their office hours, that's usually what you want to look for is, okay, if I have free time at this point, I need to be there if it's something I need help with. I mean, those kind of resources that they give you aren't just there to fill out the syllabus. They're there for a reason.
Yeah, absolutely. Very good. And I'm sure you guys all take advantage of those things.
Yeah.
They're nodding their heads. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Hey, you guys are both at Bridgewater, right?
Yep.
Awesome. So do you guys find yourself interacting a lot, or do you guys have different friend groups, or like how's that going?
Well, we both have the same sociology class. So every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we do see each other for a little bit. And, I've passed Matthew a couple of times in the cafeteria and just around on campus. That is one thing about Bridgewater is it is a smaller community than most other colleges. I mean, you have JMU right down the road, which is a direct inverse of what we have of just sheer size and student population. But, I think that's kind of one of the good parts about college is that, I've gone on to meet a lot of great people, make a lot of great friends, but I still know that if I ever needed to, just go out and talk to somebody or, want to go get ice cream, go for a drive, go do something, Matthew is, right across the road.
Yeah, that's really cool. And you guys had that friendship that like started developing here, right? So it's going to like continue to exist. It doesn't have to. Like Hazel and I talk about friends we have that neither of us are really good like communicators as far as like keeping up with people or texting or like that sort of stuff. But there's always friends that when you get back together with them, even though you haven't spoken in a while, you just like pick up where you left off. And I imagine that that's kind of what you guys have going on too. So cool stuff. Matthew, tell me a little bit about your friend group, if you don't mind. Like, I remember some of my experience going to college was like finding out how many like different people there are. You go to a small school like this here at CHA, and a lot of us have a lot of commonalities, similarities, or we play on the same sports team, so we like have very similar interests. But like I found when I went to school that there were so many interests that I just didn't even know existed, or like just different backgrounds or different things like that. What have you found out in terms of like different friends, new people, that sort of stuff?
So my friend group, so like new people I met, we have a lot of things in common. Like they watch football, I watch football, or they like basketball and I like basketball too. We'll play like some nights when we finish like our work and stuff, they'll come over and we'll play like 2K or Madden, just stuff like that, I know that they like to like bet on like college basketball and stuff, so they always come to me and ask for advice on it. And I don't want to be the one to like give them a wrong pick and then they be mad at me, but
gotta be careful giving those odds out.
So, but they never get mad at me that much, so it's all good. But yeah, I mean, we do have a lot of things in common, like new people that I've met there. So
very cool. How about you, Brock?
I think one of the things I did not expect when I went to Bridgewater was just the sheer diversity that you get from a college like that. Just, a random town in somewhat northern Virginia, and someone who lives across the hall from me is from North Dakota.
Wow.
How they end up at Bridgewater, I have no idea. Apparently, it was for a dressage program, which is a horse thing.
Okay.
So, that's just, I have suite mates. One of them's from Maryland. I mean, there's people, one of the, I don't want to be wrong here, but I think one of the people from the chemistry department, I want to say it's, I want to say Nigeria, but I might be incorrect on that. It's one of those countries in Africa. I can't remember which, but, just the sheer diversity you get from a school like Bridgewater is really incredible. And I find myself all the time just asking, like, man, how did you end up here? What's the story? What happened to get you here? And
Yes.
It's always so interesting to find out about other people that, eventually become your friends along the way.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I remember a similar thing in Bluefield of like people coming from far and wide, and you're going like, why are you at this tiny school? And like you said, it's either a program or they're an athlete and they got some scholarship money or something. But it gives you that chance to kind of see people from a variety of backgrounds and get to interact with them. It's really cool. Brock, I know you've gotten to do a little bit of announcing, some media relations work at Bridgewater College, and it makes us all very proud to say that maybe you kind of got some of you cut your teeth here at CHA doing some announcing for some basketball games and different things like that. Tell us a little bit about your experience now at Bridgewater.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if this is appropriate, I guess I'd give a shout out to the media relations team. I want to say thank you to Ryan because my boss, he gave me my start with media relations. Ryan Legarsky, he was the one who I went to see about, possibly announcing or doing play-by-play. And, that team has worked with me to get me on color commentary, play-by-play for sports I didn't even know about, field hockey and swimming. I didn't know you could even do play-by-play for swimming, but, some Saturdays I end up in the pool where, it's just incredible what you can really do with a program like that. And just to have that kind of opportunity, if you go somewhere that's a larger school, it's a lot less likely that you have an opportunity like that. I mean, if you go to a Tech or a JMU or a UVA, you have so many more hoops you have to jump through to get even a start in something like that.
Mm-hmm. And even just competition, like the people who want to be a part of that.
Right. And I think it really speaks volumes to just the kind of community that is down there that I was able to so quickly pick up and become a color commentator or a play-by-play guy or an announcer when I had to be. It's just it kind of speaks to that tight-knit community and the kind of relationships you can build at a school like that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Hey, and that's a great pitch, folks. I'm just saying. What's it like jumping into doing some commentating on a sport that you didn't know about? Like, do you have to go study, take some notes, learn the game? What's that process like?
So for me, it is I would point to the person that does the actual play-by-play for Bridgewater Sports, Carl Magenhofer. I do a lot of my color commentary with him. He is a phenomenal play-by-play guy, and he is the one who really taught me about what I do now and the color commentary and how to talk about sports in a way that's both interesting and understandable to a lot of people. It's when you have a sport that you don't know anything about, say a field hockey or a lacrosse, something that you may not have, that CHA may not have currently just with our current size.
Sure.
It's something that it can be a little intimidating with just walking into something and not knowing exactly where you're going, but putting in that extra effort to, watch a YouTube video, watch any kind of broadcast or previous showing of a game that you're going into, it can help you to see how other people really craft their commentary and what you want to say as a commentator, what kind of terms you'd be looking for. And, sometimes it's going in and being as vague as possible for as long as you can until you have to say something that you may or may not be right about. But it's always fun, even if it is a little bit more challenging to talk about the sports you don't know or aren't familiar with. And it's a great way to learn. I mean, I would have never known anything about field hockey if I didn't ask to be the play-by-play guy for one game.
Yeah.
My knowledge of field hockey comes completely from the work and the prep I did for that game. So it's really been great getting to learn about other sports that I didn't really know as much about.
Well, that's awesome, and good for you being willing to step into those unknown situations, because that is definitely overwhelming. But good for you taking the extra effort and doing that. Matthew, I know you've been kind of in and out of here pretty frequently here at CHA. Tell us a little bit about what you've been doing. I know you've been involved with basketball a little bit, right?
Yeah. So every time I come back in, I always try to get back here and get the kids in the gym just to work on their game, because I know how much they love the game, and I know that they'd rather be playing basketball than doing anything else. So I always try to just get back and get them in the gym whenever every chance I can. So
yeah, nothing quite like having an older guy kind of showing you what you need to learn, right, or how to improve or that sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, I know it was kind of weird, because a few people on varsity like Brody, Nick. They were my teammates last year, so it was a little weird coaching them this year, just knowing like last year I was just playing with them. So, yeah.
Yeah. How did they respond to that? Did that go well, that dynamic?
Oh, yeah. I kind of looked at them as like my younger brothers, so I think that they kind of looked up to me and, just tried to learn everything they could that I was trying to tell them. So, yeah.
That's awesome. And that just goes to show that, like, you had that leadership before, right? If you hadn't been developing that in previous years, no way it would have had that sort of result now, too, So good work, man. How about what's going on tonight?
Oh, yeah, I'm doing open gym tonight from 6 to 8 for middle school.
Yeah, keep those workouts going.
Yeah. Even though the season just ended, that means that the next season has just started. So.
That's right. Well, folks, I probably could have opened with this, but I think we're going to close with it. So these guys are here on their spring break from college, and I thought it'd be kind of funny or interesting to just talk about what's the difference between like being on college break versus being on high school break. How do you guys want to approach that? We'll let Brock take the first swing here.
I would have to say that looking at things from a high school break and a college break is just what you value with your time. You kind of start to think of things in a different sense of time. I know that may sound weird, but whereas in high school you're thinking about, what you may be doing the next day or getting extra rest or getting sleep. For me anyway, I'm judging my time of, okay, what can I be doing right now that will help me get ready for when I come back? What will be the next step I can take if it's getting extra rest, if it's sending an email to a professor or someone else about an internship or an opportunity for the summer, if it's doing an extra set of homework sets or something that studying for a test I may have when I get back. As a high schooler, I don't think you really value your time as much as you think you do. I think when you have so much more that you're doing every second, when you have so much more that's going on in every possible aspect of your life, it kind of becomes a thing of, okay, in high school, you may waste some more time, but in a college break, you value that time so much more just because there's so much else you could be doing. So having the time to just be able to relax a little bit and really plan what your next step is really valuable.
Yeah, definitely. Matthew, how about you, man?
Yeah, well, before we usually have a break, I try to get all my work done, like before we come back. And that way I don't have to worry about it that much. But usually when we have long breaks, like if I do have work I have to do, I try to get it done first. That way I can just spend more time with like my family and then come back here and, get in the gym with the guys and things like that. So.
Yeah. Do either of you guys have projects due when you get back or had them due before you left? I feel like that was a thing.
I have a chemistry test when I get back, and I have a lab practical a biology lab practical when I get back that first week.
Yeah.
So it's not, it's kind of just a glorified test, but it's still something where it's in the back of your mind. You're thinking about it. It's something you may want to put a couple, an hour here or an hour there while you're on break is never a bad thing to give to something like that. That's really important.
Matthew, any stuff coming up when you get back?
I do have a paper due for my intro to teach physical education class.
Okay.
But the good thing is that I've already finished it and I turned it in, and it's just a rough draft. So if I don't do that good on it, then
there you go.
Have a chance to fix it.
That's awesome. I love hearing that, man. Got his paper turned in.
Yep.
I'm impressed.
Yep.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, I didn't do that for Mr. Keller that much.
Right? Oh, it's all right. I guess I got him warmed up for college, though. Yeah.
Definitely.
I'm going to at least go with that. Intro to education, physical education, right? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
So how's that going? How's that course going for you?
It's good. I mean, I enjoyed that class the best out of all the other ones. We go to different, like, elementary school, middle school, and high schools, and we just observe their PE classes. And so, like, most of the time we'll jump in with the kids and play, like, whatever activity they're doing and stuff. So it's good to see, like, just different age groups and how they approach, like, their PE class. I think middle school is not as energetic as, like, the little kids or, like, the really older kids, like high school kids. They're, like, way more competitive.
Right.
Like, when it comes to, like I know we got out there and they were playing basketball or something one day. It was like hockey or something, and we got out there and they were like they was giving us all we could handle, like, because they're just that competitive. But middle school, they were like kind of like they That like they were just there because they had to be there. and elementary kids, they love anything that they can get out and just run around.
So you said that you all go. Do you go as a group? Like, is it a couple of you that go there, or are you there on your own just with another teacher?
So usually it's our professor goes. Like we'll set a day, and like 3 people will go at like 9:00.
Okay.
Next 3 people will come in at like 10:45.
Yeah.
Or something like that. But our professor's usually there through all the sessions that are there. So yeah, it's pretty fun.
That's really cool. I like that a lot. I remember when I was taking my ed courses, they would like send us out solo, and we'd have to just like sit there in class and hope that the teacher was the type of teacher that would say, hey, come help me do this thing or whatever. And it was always kind of like, am I just going to sit here and watch students today, or am I going to get to actually be part of this class today? So I love that. That's a great approach that they've got there at Bridgewater. Really cool. Yeah. Brock, you want to give us a little, insight to what you're doing with some of your core classes?
Sure. So I'm currently declared as a biochemistry major, and I've been taking chemistry, biology classes, a lot of math, and my current career goal is something in the pharmaceutical field, possibly something like nuclear pharmacy or, a separate, any kind of pharmaceutical field really is what I tell people. But my main goal right now is actually to try and find an internship for the summer. So currently I've been just kind of putting my name out and, throw everyone your phone number and your email and hope to hear something. So
any bites yet?
Nothing yet. Yeah. I've been hopeful to maybe possibly get in with the Carillion in Roanoke.
Yeah.
The hospital there has a great pharmacy program, and something like that would be ideal. But I just want to find something that is able to keep me in my same kind of career path, in that same kind of educational field of sciences like that, and stick with it. Because I know it's so easy over summer to just kind of forget about what you're doing and kind of let it go and just
cruise a little bit, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
rest
so I just kind of want to try to minimize that as much as possible by keeping that emphasis of science still in what I'm doing over the summer.
Yeah. Hey, well, I really, truly was excited to hear both you guys just talk about your interest in what you're studying. I love that, and I'm so happy for both of you that you're into what you're doing and enjoying it. I know sometimes those gen eds can be a little bit boring, but it sounds like the core classes that you're in, you're loving. So that's exciting, and thank you guys so much for being willing to come in and chat a little bit today.
Well, thank you for having us. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, and folks, I'm sorry. We're a little long-winded today, but man, I could have kept talking to these guys for a while. I guess we better do the outro here. So thank you guys for being here and listening to this episode of the Extracurricular Podcast. It was great. I enjoyed it so much. Matthew, Brock, thank you guys again. Really glad to have you with us. And I look forward to bringing you guys back. Maybe we'll get together again in the summertime. We can have another round of this.
Yeah,
Definitely.
All right. Everybody, remember you can find this podcast on YouTube. Be sure to like and subscribe. You can also listen and follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. With that, may we be united by faith. Go Knights.